off. It's 9 o'clock a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. And it is Monday, November 15th, 2021 AD. And by the way, oh, the wall going up. Is it silly of me to wear this t-shirt when Trump is not in office and Biden put a halt on the wall? Some people pretend that the wall was not going up, and it was indeed going up. 2021 AD, if I didn't mention that already. And I have some stuff to cover. And of course, your calls. Did you catch me on the Hippy Dippy Roundtable? That was fun. I appreciate it. I'll talk about that. Kyle, Jack Bauer, John Wick, Rittenhouse, closing arguments. I wonder how long the jury will deliberate. I wonder what will happen. I heard that the weapons charges were thrown out by the judge. Nice. Shout out to Asmodor for the news, and I saw that also on Yahoo News. Vaccine madness going on around the world is disgusting. There's this cute little girl who protested the mask mandate at one of her schools, and it went kind of viral. I think she appeared on Fox News alongside the governor of Florida. That's nice. And other mess going on. This anti-white, supposedly white guy from the South, Mitch Landrieu, ever heard of him? Man, he's an evil, disgusting person. And the Secretary of the Interior is an American Indian woman who has no business being in politics. She was a single mother of a lesbian daughter. Just awful stuff. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Nice to see you. I have some new music to play for, or one new song to play for you. Not from any band that you've probably ever heard of, unless you were listening closely to Velvet Blue music like I was back in the day, like 20 years ago. Very cool. I'm excited to share that with you at the top of this coming hour. But did you, and I will be getting to your calls, 888-775-3773. I was asked by a guy in my YouTube comments section. YouTube comments, they're so great, except when YouTube auto-censors them. And that does happen, guys. If your comment is auto-censored, don't be suspecting me of it or accusing me of it, of censoring your comments, because people do that. If YouTube may flag it for some reason or other, and it's not my fault, usually. Occasionally I will censor, if it's just like disgusting or something. But generally I don't care. I like to see what people are really thinking. And no, I don't agree with Dr. Ben Carson, who complained that YouTube comments are so terrible. I like to know what people are thinking. It's nice. But I was asked by a YouTube commenter why I was covering this beautiful flag that I'm showing you. Please ignore this satanic symbol, the bitten apple from Apple. But I'm pointing with my washed out finger and arm, because it's so white, to the beautiful, the rebel flag. And I had to cover it, I heard, from the communists, so can you really trust it? That Twitch, you know, the streaming platform, bans that. Bans it. I'm not going to, Jordan DeNicker, I'm not going to say that name. No, you are not censored. I don't know that name. I feel like I'm getting tricked into trying to say something. Yeah, they don't like this beautiful Christian symbol. Symbol of the beautiful South. It's a terrible shame. Shout out to Twitch. Nice to see you. Radulaser, CLC. or Seal Cagwin. Dr. ADD. Is Jib Jab there? And the Facebook crew, are the Facebook crew there? I don't see any chats from the Facebook crew yet. Beta Twitch, says Misty. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But, so guys, did you catch my Friday's Hippy Dippy Roundtable? I'm just so excited to share it with you a little bit. Thanks very much to Jesse Lee Peterson and Nicolas, the anchor baby, or ankle baby if you prefer. Thanks very much to Dylan Burns TV over there on Twitch, the Twitch host and his team. I appeared this past Friday for 3.5 hours, 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Good thing I don't live on the East Coast. I would be knocking out. Because they lasted until 11:30 p.m. Shout out to the debate people. Dan Abu. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you, man. I liked talking with the guests. It was basically me versus 7 other panelists. I mean, some of them, three of the other guys were somewhat conservative, I guess. But we debated Kyle, Jack Bauer, John Wick, Rittenhouse. They pretended that it was a shame that he showed up. Lawbertarians, yeah. They pretended that he was a problem at all when ignoring the Black Lives Matter Antifa scumbags, and yes, they were scumbags, who attacked him and who were burning the city, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I loved it. It was basically me against all of them. Sometimes they said some sensible things, right? I'd love to talk to that guy, Counterpoints. I don't know if you guys caught the debate, but he was the one in the top middle cussing, just endlessly cussing. But I don't know if that Irishman can contain his cussing so much, because I wouldn't want to bring him on my show if he's going to keep on cussing like that. Because this is a child-friendly, family-friendly show, right? Right. But they were all interesting people, although I did zone out. I don't know if you could tell a couple of times, because they were talking about just empty intellectual stuff. But I wrote a blog post about it at the announcement. Hippy Dippy Roundtable. Dylan Burns 1776 is the guy on Twitter who hosted it. I think he called himself a queer. He called himself that. He's the guy in the upper right. Nice guy, though. They did a professional job, pretty much, I would say. Vosh was there, the commie. The smooth-talking snake is such a deceiver. The guy just above him, too. They pretended like they both love me. The girl right below me, if you're watching the video feed, I'm showing a screenshot from the event. The girl, she called herself a they, them. Oh, I shouldn't say she if she calls herself a they, them, because that's misgendering. But I respect people too much to go along with that gender thing. I respect her too much, right? Too much respect for the truth and for the person to go along with their delusion. The guy in the middle is lecture fan. And the person at the bottom, people are saying that I don't know what that person is. But seemed like a she, but some are telling me it is not I don't know. Really? Are you serious? You know that for a fact? Oh, man. Chris is telling me transgender. Aw. Anyway, I have a link to it in my blog post called Hippy Dippy Roundtable. If you go to thehakereport.com and you click on appearances in the thing, you can find it, and there's a link to the Twitch stream. I imagine that it will go up on YouTube later this week on Dylan Burns TV's thing. We talked Kyle, Jack Bauer, John Wick, Rittenhouse, and I did call him Kyle, Jack Bauer, John Wick, Rittenhouse. And is it good to be woke? What a cringe term. They all disavowed. They all pretended like they're not into that. And we talked about the death penalty. And the guy, oh my gosh. The guy, if you saw that screenshot, just above me was kind of like a libertarian guy who's not for the death penalty, and he was trying to talk all nice and get everybody on his side. He was a nice guy. Brandon for liberty. But he was saying, no, we shouldn't have the death penalty. lecture fan seemed like he was a Christian. LCTR fan. But that was cool. I appreciate it. Let me actually get to a call who wants to talk about that little debate that I had. I may put out a clip from it because I defended the honorable men of the Proud Boys who were smeared with no pushback. And Sleazy Joe did the same thing. So, anyway, let me get to a first-time caller, Mike in Georgia. How are you doing, Mike?
James Hake, how are you, man?
Doing fine. Thank you, man. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, so I'm on the East Coast, and I'd been up since 3 a.m. on Friday, but I had to make sure I caught the debate.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's cool.
Amazing debate.
Thank you, man. That was amazing. It was, in fact, a lot of it was interesting. Some of it was mind-numbingly intellectual and empty and just debating stuff that doesn't matter on the part of those guys. I could have jumped in more, but I really, the topics were great, and it was fun.
It was like what Jesse would say. It was a hootenanny of a time. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Cool.
But at times it was chaotic. There was a lot going on, and I guess it was broken down into teams, but like you said, it was pretty much 7 against you.
Right. True. Because they all agreed that racism is real and a problem, and that Kyle shouldn't have been there, and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, thank God he was there. And there's no racism. At one, I will say, I think the moderator did a pretty good job. Did a quite good job for having 8 panelists. He maintained order pretty well.
I've never heard of that podcast before, or Dylan, I guess that's his name.
Yeah.
But I thought that they did pretty good on keeping everybody in tune with one another, except I guess his name is Connor.
Yeah, Connor.
The guy that was
counterpoints.
Driven and yeah.
What did you say he was? What type of driven?
Emotionally and profanity driven, basically.
He Irish. Those Irish, what can they do but cuss? I mean, they're nice guys and somewhat reasonable sometimes, but he was cussing up a storm.
To be quite honest,
he was the only one cussing.
They would have attacked you that way. Yeah, I know.
Everybody, including the gays and transgenders, were not cussing. I don't even think I heard one cuss word from any of the rest of them.
It was quite the thing, my friend, quite the thing. And I think that was a transgender.
Wow.
For sure.
Yeah.
One of the female types. I'm asking. I don't know.
I'm told Chris, and I don't think Chris would say it without absolute certainty. I don't think it's firsthand knowledge, but playing around.
Okay, well, I had my suspicions about that as well. Looks like a woman for sure until they moved their hands up, and they had really large hands. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. I didn't know what was going on there.
Yeah. And that person was very knowledgeable about the law and legal stuff. And, quote unquote, she tried to do gotcha questions on me. Like, the person's name, I'd rather name the person, Riley Grace. Riley. Yeah, that is a typical, vague name. Tried to go, how are you going to know if a person is absolutely guilty? Oh, he's played... This Riley Grace person, has played clips of JLP before and attacked him, probably. Analysis.
There were 2 instances where, and, this was an awesome moment. It was hilarious. A lot of times, well, actually, probably every time you spoke through answering a question or making a statement, everybody's jaws just dropped and they were left frozen. They didn't know how to react to it.
Yeah.
But you were asked two very, very stupid questions, one of which you called out and said it was a stupid question.
Yeah.
And the other one Riley had asked you, and you just basically said, I don't know what you want from me.
Right.
But the main point that she was looking for, and it was just such a stupid question. You want logical men that specialize in their field of study to make decisions in the area that they work. I mean, I don't remember her question. It was something with criminology, but
Yeah.
it was just flat out stupid.
Because my position is that you should have the death penalty, swift justice, and not endless, not these endless appeals processes where people appeal for over years when they're clearly guilty. And so this Riley person said, how are you going to know that they're absolutely guilty? Well, I gave the example. You know Dylan Roof is absolutely guilty. You know Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, whatever his name is, the Boston bomber, little brother. You know he's absolutely guilty. You know there are cases where you know they're absolutely guilty. And I thought about it later. I was thinking over the weekend, nobody who's ever supported or who's never repented of supporting Black Lives Matter or the Me Too movement should ever be involved in these decisions, because those people don't wait and see. You know, JLP always talks about wait and see, because you don't know if somebody's guilty or innocent. So you presume them innocent unless proven guilty. And at that point, so all these people assume the whites guilty and the cops guilty unless proven innocent, or the men. And so, yeah. Nasty.
Well, it is what it is, man. The people that were up there, they're pretty much our peers, and you
True.
could tell right away when you took the floor that they don't ever hear the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So
it was
kudos
fun. I
for
really
you
appreciated
for
it.
speaking the truth.
And shout out, too, to Modern Day Debate. That's how Dylan's people found me, because I appeared on Modern Day Debate debating that outright communist guy who thought that slavery was one of the greatest evils ever in America. Oh, man.
Oz.
Yeah, Haas, also known as Infrared. So the Modern Day Debate guy brought me on, and then the Dylan Burns people saw me on there and invited me on. So that's cool. What's his name?
That was a great debate as well.
Yeah. Donning Armor said, I tried to listen. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Donning Armor said, I tried.
Anybody that hasn't caught them.
Say again?
Anybody that hasn't caught your debates, they're missing out big time.
Nice. Appreciate that. Donning Armor said, I tried to listen to your debate, quote unquote, with that communist guy, but sorry, I can't listen to 8 people talking over each other about nothing I care about. Well, man, it was actually pretty orderly. And I don't know why you wouldn't care about due process for the white man, Kyle Jack Bauer, John Wick Rittenhouse. But I appreciate it anyway, Donning Armor. Thank you for the support. Where you can. Where you can bring yourself. Anyway, great info, Mike. I appreciate your support. They all agreed Kyle is innocent.
I'm not. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and dox myself. This is Bibby42 that sends you all those wonderful super chats.
Nice. It's great to hear from you.
So, thank you, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, we'll be here for you, supporting you.
Right on. Take care, Mike. Bibby42.
James.
All right. Oh, man. You know, I was talking with my friend and former fellow co-host, Esteban, over the weekend. He comes and helps out at church and stuff. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Check it out. And he referred to me to this story of this, I guess he's a professional cyclist, you know, biker. Not the motorbike, not the motorcycle bike, but bicyclist, I guess. About this guy. And I think Anomaly tweeted out a video of it. I may share it with you later in the week. This guy who got the vaccine, He's like a non-political person, just a professional athlete, basically, I think. And he says that he's suicidal, I think, from the backlash to people over his alleged, and who knows, vaccine injury. It does happen. They say it's rare. I don't know how rare. I don't know how honest the mainstream media is about these things, right? They don't seem totally interested, just like they weren't totally interested in telling about the destruction of Black Lives Matter, Antifa rallies and riots around the country, nor were they interested in innocent unless proven guilty for the cop, Derek Chauvin, or the cops in general, or the whites. They just want to stir up the blacks and use them to divide and conquer. What a mess. But they're doing the same thing with the vaccine madness. It's so sick. But this guy's never experienced hatred, according to what Esteban was telling me. He's just this normal, normie guy, very talented cyclist. And he got the vaccine, and then his family, according to him, turned on him. He's never caught the hatred that someone like you or me might catch for, some of us are more outspoken in our lives and online and stuff like that than others. Oh, turn on the AC, please. And open the vent too, please. Because it is getting warm in here. Thank you. And by the way, Nicolas set me up in the studio for this debate over Friday. Oh my gosh, very handy. That way I didn't have to be sitting in front of my computer all amateur hour, like some of the rest of them. Although they had pretty good mics. Such a shame. These people are catching all this hatred, and it's disgusting how deluded these people are in hating one another over the vaccine stuff. You've heard in Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, him talking about they're dividing and conquering, bringing in the vaccinated against the unvaccinated, right? When in reality, according to the communist guy whom I debated over a week ago on Monday, I think it was a week ago. Was that a week ago only? Has infrared? It's the establishment people who are pushing this madness. Did you hear about, in Hake News, I read it at the end of hour 2, about this pandemic, or is it really just panic? I'm not sure. I mean, I think that it is a pretty crazy virus. I've heard stories of, just a regular doctor guy whom I ran into last weekend talking about how people's lungs are turning into kind of like dried up, like what did he say? Concrete, and then just cracking up. Because it attacks their lungs, it attacks their cardiovascular health, it attacks this and that and everything. And some people speculate that it may have been, hey, wipe that stain on your lower lip. What the? Yeah, I thought it'd be funny to grow this thing under my lip. Just not shave this part. Shave all my face except for this part. They call it a soul patch. Is there a white term for it? Or is that the white term? Soul sounds kind of black. Oh, man. I'm leaving it here for now. I don't know. On Friday, the evil UN's corrupt WHO, World Health Organization, said Europe had nearly 2 million China virus cases in a single week, largest number. I guess virus-related deaths have gone up 10% there, supposedly, if you trust them. I mean, they are a fat world, an old world. They drop and remain the same everywhere else in the world. Germany, Netherlands, Austria, breaking their own infection records. They say the Delta variant, the India mutation, thanks globalism, is driving the numbers up. Many are pointing their fingers at the so-called unvaccinated Europeans. And the doctor guy who I talked to said that a lot of the people that he's seeing, and he seems like an honest guy, are guys in their 40s who are quote-unquote unvaccinated. Well, guys in their 40s oftentimes pretty out of shape too, That's what he said, and he's an American doctor. He also sees a lot of shootings. Well, he saw one crazy shooting. Death. Soul patch is the white term. I think it was for the hip white guy. This is a big bump. Thank you, man. Oh, man. Some countries are looking to bring back restrictions over this virus stuff. Austria is reinstituting a lockdown today only for the unvaccinated people. 35% are not, quote unquote, fully vaccinated, I think. 65% vaccination rate in Western Europe. One of the lowest rates in Western Europe. This is, according to New York Slimes, the failing New York Slimes, globalist socialist scumbags, it's considered one of the first national lockdowns that specifically targets the unvaccinated. Huh. And actually, by the way, that's like 5% more than the United States, supposedly. But vaccine hesitancy, apparently fueled by Austria's far-right Freedom Party, making it difficult to get the rest on board. The more you force it, the more people are going to want to resist it, because the less they're going to trust you, because you don't seem trustworthy when you're trying to force it down people's throats and get all nasty and evil, right? 2 million unvaccinated Austrians, 12 and up, will be restricted from leaving their homes except for groceries and doctor's visits. Those who don't follow the rules could be fined, says the skim. The government says the move is necessary amid the rise in cases. How about actual, severity of cases? Do they focus on the severity, or are they just exploiting this for control, right? The far right sees this as treating the unvaccinated people as second-class citizens, which it obviously is. Duh. Health experts say rise in cases in Europe could be a warning sign. 60% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated, which their full vaccination status is going to expire once it comes time for the booster shots. Booster shots, not in 10 years like with the tetanus thing, but booster shots within months. Crazy, huh? Seems wild. And by the way, all this stuff is so new. Do they know the long-term effects? I don't think they know the long-term effects of any of this stuff. Spain and Portugal have a whole lot of suckers, apparently. 80% vaccination rate. Supposedly haven't seen a major surge. Low vaccination rates, waning immunity among the vaccinated, and relaxed restrictions has health experts around the world concerned. So they're pushing booster shots. What a mess. Latvia. Latvia is a European country, right? They banned unvaccinated lawmakers from doing their basic job functions, according to the Morning Brew, which is a news outlet, believe it or not. Participating in, they grab news, right, and tell you about it. Participating in discussions and voting on legislation. They can't do it. And docking their pay. They have one of the lowest vaccination rates in the European Union. They're part of the EU, globalist socialists. Scumbags, huh? Singapore, wielding the stick through hospital bills. I thought Singapore was what is Singapore? Is that a country? I don't even know. I don't know my geography. The country said it would no longer cover the cost of China virus treatment for unvaccinated people. Singapore. Which will leave some who end up in the ICU with bills of up to $18,000 plus. Isn't that psycho? U.S. has not gone nearly as far as these countries in cracking down on its unvaccinated population. Biden mandated businesses with 100 plus employees to force vaccinations on their so-called workers, or do weekly testing and force masks and stuff. But that rule is up in the air because an appeals court said that's suspended it. They froze it. This guy is just as dumb as Jesse, says Johann Badenhorst. Or Johann? I don't know, man. Crazy, huh? That is psycho. no, you're not going to be fully vaxxed if you don't keep on getting the booster shots. Boosters, boosters, boosters. And they still don't know what's going to happen to you. That's madness. And speaking of madness, let me show you this clip of this cute little girl, 8 years old, I think, who was suspended, according to her, like 38 times because she refused to wear a mask. This little white girl she spoke in a school board meeting. I saw this on TKR Official. Follow them on Telegram. And then I will get to your super chats. I got a ton of super chats from Friday before I interviewed that black guy, Fanatic, talented musician guy. But listen to this clip. I think I have this clip. Clip 11. This little girl talks about them forcing her to wear a mask, and she's been suspended a bunch of times. And watch out, kids, because she says the S-U-C-K-S word. What a mess. Listen to this.
My name is Fiona Lashells, and I am in second grade at Discovery Key Elementary. I am back to talk to you again today. And for anyone who thinks I didn't write my speech last time is wrong. I wanted to be here then, just like I do now. Sorry if I am supposed to be scared when I see people yelling at these meetings. So I am back today, and tomorrow is my birthday. I am going to get suspended if I don't wear a mask for 3 more days. Just because I get suspended for not wearing a mask isn't going to change my mind. You can keep suspending me. I still have the right not to wear a mask. It is not fair that I'm getting punished because you guys, the school board, are not following the law. That is not fair. It just isn't right. I'm still going to stand up for what I believe in, and nothing's going to change my mind. I've been getting suspended a lot because I'm wearing a mask. Do you know how dirty masks are? Because you touch the mask, you put it on your face, you breathe all those germs in because you have lots of bacteria on your hand. Oh, and okay, yeah, I hope you all go to jail for doing this to me. And my family is proud of me, and my Uncle Murphy, that is in heaven, is really proud of me. And I want to say Burke sucks, but instead of, your rules suck.
Crazy. Sorry, kids. She said the sucks word. That's just like I was telling JLP about this story yesterday before church. I was talking to, and I was like, or maybe it was just maybe it was after church, but isn't that so typical of like a little girl put up kind of by her mother? She wants to say Burke. I don't know who Burke is, if that's a school or if that's one of the phony politicians who are pushing these mandates on these little kids. Why is she wearing a mask? They force her to wear one indoors. Ridiculous. Yeah, she was reading that. She apparently wrote that, but it was edited, apparently, I think, by her mother, it seems like. That's my speculation. Because she admitted she wanted to say, Burke sucks, bleep! Bleep it out, Hake, says Chungosaurus. Take your mask off. What's up, Gilbert? Nice to see the Facebook crew. But your rules stink. I want to say Burke stinks. She said sucks. But but Hake is against educated women? Well, Hake, what a hack. Little girls can learn to read. We're talking about college, dude. Duh. You can just picture, don't say a person stinks, say their rules stink. It's just like the Christian version of hatred. Oh, I don't hate you. I hate what you did. But really, it's the difference. The children don't know the difference between you hating them and you hating what they did, what the children did. So the children are still catching your hate, but they want to turn it into this is just a side note. They want to turn it into a more palatable hate. Oh, I don't hate you. I just hate the devil for making you do that. They make up all kinds of excuses to hate. What a mess. But she should have just said, yeah, Burke sticks. Thank you, Gilbert. Appreciate that. He says, you kicked rear in the debate. And I saw this headline from Daily Wire. Apparently on Fox News, Governor Ron DeSantis appeared alongside this little girl, Fiona Lashells, second grader in Florida. I don't know if she just turned 8 or if she just turned 9 or what. Usually a second grader is 7 or 8. So maybe she turned 8. But suspended 38 times for refusing to comply. A Florida school district finally dropped their mask mandate, according to Daily Wire. Wow. So, some people standing up for some common sense. Hake, 39 or 40. No, I'm 40. What? But the schools are just going through utter madness. And it seems like Europe is even... It's always seemed like that, honestly. Europe is worse than America. That's why I just scoff anytime they say America is the only developed nation that doesn't offer, quote unquote, free health care for its citizens or whatever. Like that's going to be good quality. You know what I mean? They want us to be more like Europe. No thanks. Europe surrender, just killing all their whites. Basically, right? And flooding in all the POCs to replace them. That's also why I not really outraged about that little rally that the people over in Charlottesville, Virginia did when those people were saying, Jews will not replace us. People were like, oh, but that was a legitimate gripe of the whites. Was it not? Psh. Give me a break. Let me get to some super chats. I have a ton of them to trudge through, so I'll probably maybe do it in 2 chunks. We'll see. But shout out to the people who gave super chats on Friday and did not get them read until barely right now. Especially Based AF, Based America First. Anyway, Jib Jab gave a super chat over there on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report and stated, it isn't too much to ask for. I would like to see you on the streets in Southside Compton interrogating people. Pretty please with a cherry on top. That would be interesting, Jib Jab. I think I would need a posse to be in Compton interviewing people. But thank you for the generous super chat and the requests. Boy, that would be a sight, wouldn't it? Lin Yan Chin says, donning armor, says Lin Yan Chin. God is the cause, place, and destination of all else. God being changeless. This is because Donning Armor asked me, what is God? I think last Thursday. And Lin Yan Chin is answering that. God being changeless is devoid of start and end in order to be the start and end to all else, i.e., I am the Alpha and Omega. God is what all finite elements approximate. Image. Well, thank you, Lin Yan Chin. I wonder if that clarified it for Donning Armour. Bibby42, shout out, man. Says, good luck on your little debate tonight, Hake. This was on Friday beforehand, before the Hippy Dippy Roundtable. What a name. Had to be a liberal. Good luck on your little debate tonight, Hake. Afterwards, we will continue on with James Hake's birthday celebration extravaganza. 247,365. Oh, no, 24/7, 365. Nice. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Or 52 weeks a year. Plus. Animus gave a super chat. says, hey, Hake, I watched your debate with that wannabe Union soldier. Yeah, he's referring to Haas Infrared saying, we fought the... He said, we fought in the Civil War to end slavery. I'm like, that wasn't you. Stop that. You're an anchor baby, I think. Because he's all, I'm just as American as you are. Okay, commie. That wannabe Union soldier, because the Union fought against the South. And it was very interesting. You did a good job. This guy only wanted to make you angry. That's all he did, was animus possessed. Can't talk with these people at all. Thank you, man. And based America first. Several super chats for you guys. Rick Bright, he says. Hopefully I'm reading these in order. The former head of Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, BARDA. Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, BARDA, which buys and develops medical countermeasures, filed a complaint last year that the drug known as EIDD-2801 has a high potential to cause birth defects. Rick Bright filed that complaint. Merck developed EIDD-2801 as an affordable alternative to remdesivir, now named Molnupiravir, something like that, and marketed in Britain as Lagevrio. EIDD-2801 is being purchased by governments as a safe and effective pill to fight China virus. He calls it COVID. It fosters errors in gene replication. Wow. High potential to cause birth defects was what Rick Bright's complaint was about this thing, and it's now being pushed as safe and effective according to Base America First. He says U.S. government is spending, this is Base America First writing with super chats, U.S. government is spending $2.2 billion to purchase Molnupiravir at 40 times what it costs to produce. So much for affordable. Wow. You guys following this? Will citizens be one large clinical trial? Which is another word for guinea pigs? At least the drug has memorable and easily pronounceable names. And then Base America First says, Hake is so avant-garde saying vegetables are a vaccine. Yeah, true. Because they're saying anything that, I was talking with Base America First, anything that you put into your body that is supposed to help you have an immune response against disease. Well, aren't veggies supposed to do that? Some of you guys say veggies are poison, you're supposed to eat meat only. Okay, Jordan B. Peterson. Playing around. I respect the meat eaters. I do. I eat meat. Anyway, University of California was awarded $500,000 to develop technology that infuses mRNA, messenger ribonucleic acid, China virus vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines, into edible plants. The UC system, University of California. Where's our cut? Oh no, where's your cut? What could possibly go wrong? Oh, my cut for, veggies are vaccines. Very nice. Brandon M., shout out, man, over there in Odyssey, ODYSEE.com. Is my stream going on Odyssey? Let's see. Okay, yes, it's going, it seems like. Press 1 if my stream is fine. Over there on Odyssey, people. Shout out, Brandon M. I'm seeing some more super chats coming in from him. I'm trudging through these guys. I'm just going to read the ones from Friday, and then I'll get to the ones from today later. Brandon M. says, someone shouldn't criticize another about God while staying in a race car bed in his 40s. What's that a reference to, Brandon M.? Interesting. And Asmodor says, oh, I think these are digs on Donning Armour. Asmodor says, hello, I am a professed atheist who thinks the vaccine is good, believes in global warming, and thinks monkeys came from people because I have total faith in these things, and I would like you to explain the infinite and eternal unknowable to me real quick. Thanks. And that's a reference to what is God. They were picking on Donning Armour. And speaking of Donning Armour, let me just get right to him. Since we have brought up his name, How are you doing, Donning Armor Man?
I'm hurting, bro.
You're hurting?
Yeah, all these people are picking on me.
Yeah.
Monkeys didn't come from humans, but humans are apes, and we do share lineage with monkeys. But that's besides the point. Yes. Also, I will just quickly respond to LYNN Chen. No, that doesn't clarify it. I don't know what the heck you're talking about, and I almost never do. What he said something.
Want me to reread it quickly? Donning Armor. God is the cause, place, and destination of all else. God, being changeless, is devoid of start and end, in order to be the start and end to all else. I am the Alpha and Omega. God is what all finite elements approximate. The image.
Okay. Completely incoherent, as usual. Thank you, LYNN Chen.
Thank you, LYNN Chen.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Do you understand what that means?
A little bit in like some intellectual sense. And I don't know. But he's basically saying...
He calls me an intellectual, and I'm a college dropout, so
nice.
I find it fascinating, and he speaks in a cryptic way in vagaries that it's just completely incoherent to me anyway. Maybe other people out there can understand it.
A lot of times I can pick
up
on what he's saying when he talks about other things. He makes some interesting points at times. And he's actually very observant of people who, guests and hosts and things of the human being. And he observes also like how people talk. He's very observant, very perceptive.
I agree. At times, I feel like I might understand what he's saying, but I'm probably just going to have to wait for other white people to invent those giant robots.
Or make some babies who invent them. Build them.
Yeah, make some babies, white people. Absolutely. I'm 100% behind that.
Nice.
Aside from that, my main point was you spoke about the long-term effects that are caused by the Wu flu, the COVID-19 virus, right?
Yeah, both the virus and the vaccine have unknown but possible long-term effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it affects, virtually everything from what I understand. It's you said it basically turns your lungs into cement, or you get a gray clay-like substance that encases your lungs. Permanent damage from that, apparently.
They've said that, huh?
You said it as well in your show.
Yeah, I said something to that effect, but I didn't know that it was gray clay-like substance.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but I got that from a different... Anyway, it also affects your circulatory system, your heart, your brain, in some cases, your genitalia, and so on and so forth. And as you just said, we don't understand the long-term effects of it.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been around that long. So
right.
There's no long-term studies. Obviously, we're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
This is an argument that I hear often from the anti-mask, anti-vax people. I guess they are human, although they're lower primates.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like genocide talk. You're othering. You are othering. You know how liberals talk about othering? You're othering the unvaccinated, man. Next, you're going to be shipping them off in camps.
Yeah,
camps.
It's an argument. Ship them off to a death camp? I think that's a stretch, bro. I don't want to stretch. I don't want to send anybody to any death camp, and I'm the same one that says I think you should wear a mask, but if you don't want to, I'm not going to force one on you. And I don't agree with the lockdowns as well.
Nice.
I do think that you should wear a mask. I do think that you should social distance. You should wash your hands, and you should get vaccinated. they make the argument that there's no long-term studies on the vaccination. Well, there's no long-term studies on the virus either.
Right.
And I know your chat room is probably blowing up right now, and you can all just go lick doorknobs at your local Chinese takeout. I don't care. But you went
What's that
from
mean?
that
Anyway.
has been determined to be true.
Say
You
again?
accept that there are... I'm sorry?
What has been determined to be true?
That there are serious effects from contracting this virus.
Oh, yeah. For many.
Okay. Yes. And then you immediately went to a little girl that was given, no doubt coached by her parents. A little girl of that age will not have those political views, and made to go up and deliver a speech. I think that I shouldn't have to wear a mask, and you're stupid. You're a stupid face. Listen, all respect and love to the little girl, but her parents are a joke. It's disgusting to see that kind of thing. I said the same thing with Greta. Do you want me to pronounce it correctly, or should I just say Greta Thunberg?
However you like.
We'll call her Greta Thunberg, because I know that you enjoy pronouncing things correctly. It was the exact same thing. She was coached, instructed, one could say indoctrinated or brainwashed to go up and deliver her little speech. And now she's in the political limelight. I don't think that that's good. Shelter your children, raise them to be critical thinkers, raise them to develop their own personal opinions and beliefs. You can instruct them in certain ways, but to push them to the forefront when this is a politically charged topic and throw them out there for what? So you get to go viral on your Twitter feed or something? I think it's a pathetic thing. It shows that the parents are disgraceful on both sides, Greta Thunberg, or this little girl that you just showed. I've got nothing against either of them. However, I can see bad parenting on both sides.
Yeah. All right. Interesting, man.
And I don't understand why you played that video of her saying that and calling her, like, I don't know, brave or whatever.
I call her cute.
After you've already...
I didn't call her brave.
You call what?
I called her cute little girl. I didn't call her brave.
Oh. But why would you post that? Like, why would you put that up on your feed right after you acknowledge the fact that there are serious ailments that come, possible ailments that come from this virus?
Because
it seems like you're having it both ways to me.
Because you too have it both ways, because you don't support these lockdowns or mandates. Would you, if that little girl, if you were teaching a class and that little girl didn't want to wear her mask, little kids are not particularly at risk from this unless they're severely overweight and stuff like that.
What I would
would you suspend her 38 times?
No, I'd contact her parents and say, if you don't want your child wearing a mask, then you should find another school.
So you're for the children having to wear masks when the children are not at particular risk from this thing? Nor are they at particular risk of spreading this thing.
I'm not saying that the child shouldn't go to school. I'm saying that if that's what the school deems necessary and they make that decision, then I would tell the parents, listen, if you don't want your child
they shouldn't be going to that school, that's for sure.
Then go to another school. No problem. That's all I'd say. I wouldn't admonish the child or suspend the child or punish the child in any way. I would just simply talk to the parents and say, look, this is the school's policy. Our children are, meant to wear masks. If you don't want that for your child, I suggest another school. And I'd even give them different schools in the district, or, I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. I just say, this is our policy. If you don't want to abide by our rules, just like, you remember when you used to go to stores? I don't see these signs anymore, but you go to stores when we were younger, and there would be signs up saying no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Right. The good old days.
And these schools, just as businesses, they have the right to dictate their policy. If I went to a store and I didn't wear shoes,
And the
"Hey,
children and the
people
parents have a right to protest it. I agree with you that they do prop up these little kids, and it's all cute and it's all phony. It's just like the March Against Our Lives, cringe-inducing kids who wanted to ban guns because, just exploiting the so-called tragedy of the school shooting over in Florida. It is silly, but these people have the right to protest it. The parents are the ones paying for these schools. They have the right to protest it. It's a stupid rule.
They certainly do have the right to disagree and to protest it if they so wish. However, if a business requires or a school requires that you abide by their terms and you don't like those terms, simply go somewhere else. Go to another business. Go to another school.
What a mess. Well, I appreciate it, Donning Armour. Nice to hear from you, man.
Always a pleasure. I can't even talk. Always a pleasure, brother. Thank you. And
all right.
You have a good one.
You too. Take care. I will get to more of your calls, guys. Let me quickly read a few super chats before I get to the break, and then Rick in Hampton wants to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse. Lord Grimm says that little girl did a good thing. That's coming up in the second hour here. Is my stream still going, guys? It looks like it is. Quickly. Oh, man. Hold on. Brandon M. says, Hake, why didn't you say disgusting every time that transgender, and because you're not supposed to say tranny, right? On stream, it's like, I don't know, spoke. I had no idea. I thought that was a woman. I totally thought it was a woman. What a mess. Forget Google says, watch Europa, The Last Battle. Isn't that an 8 or 10 hour movie? I learned that just came out in 2017. I watched the beginning of it, like first 45 minutes of it. Whew, long. Viewer USA says, LYNN ain't too far from it. Seems like he's focusing on the Alpha and Omega aspect of the Lord God. Oh no, hold on. Willie Palomino, Willie Pal gave a super chat and stated, I cannot emphasize enough how great you did on the debate, Hake. My only explanation is that the Father was guiding you. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, Willie. I saw you in the video chat over there on Twitch. And by the way, on Twitch, in that debate, guys, on that Hippy Dippy Roundtable, they had the chat rules were no purposeful misgendering, which is, I don't know what that means. No purpose, well, I know what that means. Nothing TOS, terms of service. No uses of the word B word or C word for woman. And be excellent to each other. Nick says he called one of them a literal homo and got banned. There were a couple of polls during the debate, because I guess I lit up the comment section. At one point in the live chat, it just says a wall of people saying, amazing. I guess I reminded them of JLP. Said, what's up, Hake? What's up with Hake? I don't know, maybe glue. Brain too big, channeling a spirit. And 81% said maybe a glue. No, I don't sniff glue. Or drink it or eat it. What's Hake's ideology? Logic, theocracy, Ho Chi Minh thought, Baathism, or classically liberal? Well, thankfully, they didn't say classically liberal. They said logic. And then theocracy was the other one. And then Ho Chi Minh for the other one. Isn't that cute? Well, thank you, Willie Palomino. Appreciate the support and the others who joined into the live chat there. That's cool. Based America First says, last week was on fire. Interesting Friday panel discussion. Hake is a machine. Based America First is Riley Grace Rochong. What is your definition of racism? What to you is racism? Does it exist? No, it does not exist, Hake says. Loner Box says, what is it then? Hake says, it is a judgment. Everybody judges. The root issue is not this imaginary racism boogeyman. And then Based America First goes on. Hake says, the people crying racism are guilty of the same judgment they are accusing others of. RGR Riley Grace Rochon, what is the basis? Is it even possible to do it? As Hake says, no, it's a false vice. And then RGR leaves the room to scream into her pillow. Thank you, Based America First. Yeah, that was a fun little clip. And that was shared on Twitter by Dan Abo of the Dylan Burns producer, I guess. Steven Absolution says that person was definitely a transgender because I got timed out for asking if it was a male or female. Yeah, rules of the chat, don't violate the TOS. Terms of service. Your girlfriend gave a super chat. Your girlfriend. So, what exactly happened to the professional cyclist? I'll have to check into that, your girlfriend, and get back with you later this week. So check back with me. I do not know. But thank you, guys. Radulaser says over there on twitch.tv / the Hake Report, I think it's cringe. People use it as an adjective. When any side uses kids. Yeah, I'm fair with that. Matt the American says, a virus you don't even know you have unless they test you for it. If you treat it like a cold, it plays out just like a cold. Sick people get colds and it turns into pneumonia. So yeah, fear. Interesting point. Thank you, Matt the American. By the way, did you guys catch Samuel Mexican Car Wash Boy on the show with the cross stream with Samuel from Sweden? And I have to catch that later. And Matt the American, that's cool. Your girlfriend says, atheists, skeptics, intellectuals are short-sighted. This vaccine, gay marriage for reference, and gay marriage for reference. Interesting point. That's why no one takes them at their word. How often have they been wrong about things in the past 2 decades? Saying slippery slope? Interesting. And your girlfriend also goes on, perhaps Mr. ARMOUR would have a different perspective if he had his own place, had children, and had something to live for. He lives in such a way he doesn't have anything to lose, and so it shapes his skewed perspective of life. So says your girlfriend. Interesting. Maybe he'll respond another day. But appreciate those guys. Let me just double check here. Thank you, Brandon M., for the support over there on Odyssey. Azador gave a super chat on Odyssey and says to Hake, these schools, quote unquote, are funded by the parents' property taxes, I will have you know. And it is the entire district forcing the issue, not the one school. Yeah, so you're ignorant. Ignorant, which is short for ignorant. Donning Armor. Talking all this mess about him after he hangs up, but you can call in another day if you want to defend yourself. But before I get back to calls, guys, I have a beautiful song to share with you. I think it is, anyway. Società Anonima. Società Anonima. And it looks like Società with an accent. Anonima. That's the name of the group. They changed their name later to Tournament Knights. I found them way back in 01 or so, alongside Phenomena from Velvet Blue Records, or Velvet Blue Music. This is from the 2001 EP, I guess you would call, because it only has 5 songs, less than like 17, 18 minutes long. The, parentheses, 51, unparentheses, Torpedoes. The 51 Torpedoes. This track is entitled Crime and Said Punishment. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight, guys.
Time will come.
answer that? No, I'm playing. What's up, Luke? This has a nice groove to it. Great, I came back to the music. What's up, Hydra? Hake's clearly lost the plot. What's up, Pardon? We back in the garage now. What's up, Jim? Justice? This music is no good, Hake. Put on the death rap. This is not a love song, Hake. Well, thank you guys bearing with me through that beautiful music. This ain't AFA, which is chat for alpha. Hake likes dumpster ska. Now that's music. James on fire. Mute, says Robert Lee. Sounds like The Fall, says Harden Collider. Didn't know. Nails! Yeah, with my dirty fingernails. I taped this on Saturday after working, I guess. Danny says they're literally doing a global reset using COVID as an excuse to get away with it, and most can't even see it. And they're also throwing in the climate while they're at it, aren't they? Great point, Danny. Danny with the foresight over there on YouTube. Nice. Crazy stuff. And no, this music is not gay. It's Christian, Martin. What the heck? What the heck? Anyway, I have to get to Rick in Hampton, Virginia. He wants to talk about this Kyle Rittenhouse thing. The National Guard, according to Fox News, is on standby for the... Somebody said in the chat over there on JLP, I think the Odyssey chat, that there were how many thousand National Guard over there standing by? Because it's ridiculous. Anyway, Rick in Hampton, Virginia, thank you for holding. How are you doing? Are you there?
Brother James? Yes, I'm here. What about yourself? How you doing?
Doing fine. I'm getting a lot of background noise. Can you get to a quiet place?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Nice.
Sure. Absolutely.
Are you on speaker?
No, I'm on regular phone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry about the noise, though, but I just want to comment, how can this, this Kyle Rittenhouse, most liberals you talk to, James, they haven't even seen the video. You know how they tried to maul Cal?
Yeah.
They haven't even seen it.
You know what?
Have you seen a video, man? Go ahead.
You know what? I was debating on the Hippy Dippy Roundtable on Dylan Burns TV on Twitch on Friday evening, and Vosh was there, and I seem to remember Vosh being on the lynch mob against this guy, and even Destiny, who's like an off-the-deep-end liberal, just ridiculous, was saying this was clear self-defense, and he was arguing with Vosh about it because Vosh is apparently either so ignorant or so communist that he thought that he could get away with smearing, I don't want to say poor Kyle, innocent, upstanding, manly Kyle Rittenhouse. What a mess. These people are evil. Guilty until proven innocent, and sometimes even after they're shown to be innocent, these people are still a lynch mob.
And you know what? The only thing I could see them getting Cal written on is bringing a weapon across state lines.
And I don't even know if he... You know what? I don't even know if he did that, because I think that the weapon was at his friend's house, his friend's dad's house, right? And so that was... I don't think he even... according to his lawyer, he didn't transport it across state lines. And that state lines is 15 miles away. He literally lives 15 miles from Kenosha, and he works in Kenosha. And and you know what? I believe I saw reports that the judge dismissed that charge, the weapons charge.
Yeah,
I think the weapons charge was illegally purchasing a firearm as a minor. I could be wrong. Because it's not illegal. It's not illegal to possess or to carry a gun at that age, I don't believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I can't understand what they're fighting about, man. And then they holler white supremacy, James, and he shot 3 white guys. How is that white supremacy?
Yeah, they were white with an asterisk. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
their souls were black. their souls were dark and evil.
Oh,
And I don't think
I
they were
definitely agree with
Christians,
that.
by the way.
Oh no. The other guy he shot, he had a police record from Hampton, Virginia, all the way to L.A. where you guys are at. One of them.
Which guy was that? Was that the the guy who survived Grosskreutz, or
No. He's dead.
No,
I think that was the.
Grosskreutz
Go ahead,
survived? Grosskreutz is the
Right.
only one
It
who
wasn't him.
survived.
Right, it wasn't him.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the guys that were dead. I mean, he had a-
Rosenbaum or Huber. They all had
Yeah.
some type of record. I think Huber
Right.
might not have been a felon, but he was accused of domestic violence, which I don't like to buy into that stuff. It just meant that he
Yeah,
was
me
fighting
too.
with his girlfriend and was probably maybe living with his girlfriend, or if he's straight in that way. I don't even know.
I'm with you on that, Jim. When it comes to that domestic violence stuff, if that woman didn't have no paper trail, I don't believe it.
Yeah. Crazy.
I don't believe it. And it's just crazy, man, how they were talking about this guy didn't have a right, even the lieutenant governor of Wisconsin. If that had been your child, they would have killed him, James. If he would have had that AR-15, they would have killed him. They hit him upside the head with a skateboard, and the first guy he shot him at the gas station. And then that's when they talk about, you an active shooter? I'm active now because y'all took it there.
Right.
And he wasn't doing nothing but standing around in front of a business or probably saying, look, I'm here to protect businesses and I'm here to help somebody if they get hurt.
So who's the lieutenant governor of Wisconsin, and what did he say? Why did you bring him up? Is that this black guy, Mandela Barnes?
Right, yeah. Another black godless guy.
Young guy, too. He's like in his mid-30s, 34 years old. Jesse Mandela Barnes, born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 1986.
And he's trying to get him on weapons charge. He's trying to say he shouldn't have been there, no way. Well, them Black Lives Matter and Antifa members shouldn't have been there either, destroying property.
What a scumbag. What's wrong with Wisconsin?
Yeah.
They've been attacking all of our states, haven't they?
Man, it's time, I mean, it's like, if it ain't Black Lives Matter, and I'm like this, the worst thing, you know how the blacks complain about the black community? The worst thing that ever happened to the black community is black liberals and white liberals with their policies. And they run every metropolitan city.
Wow.
And they vote these people in over and over and over and complain about it and still keep voting them over and over and over.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yep. Man.
You know, and it mind boggles me, man. It's just like, how can they not see that was self-defense? They would have done the exact same thing, because he would have been dead. I'm telling you, or either pretty badly severe, probably couldn't walk.
I don't know, man. I think that it's hard to say what would have happened, because sometimes these liberals are so evil, they hate the side of an American being an American, which is to say they hate the side of a gun on a upstanding American man who's protecting the community and offering medical aid to people and putting out fires and there to protect businesses and prevent them from destroying gas stations. They tried to light a gas station on fire. I heard in a video clip in this court hearing that this Joseph Rosenbaum guy, the first guy who attacked Kyle and got himself killed, he was pushing a dumpster full that was carrying a fire. You know, the fire's inside of the dumpster. He was pushing a dumpster fire. And he was pushing it towards, I think, the gas station, trying to burn the gas station. That is insane. You're not even supposed to, you're not supposed to smoke, certainly in a gas station, because, you know, the fumes.
They don't even want you with your radio on or a cell phone.
Right. They don't even want you to use your cell phone in a gas station. And these guys are trying to bring a dumpster fire to a gas station? Ridiculous.
Now, even though I'm guilty of sometimes having my cell phone while I'm pumping gas, but it's clear as day on that sign. It's right there.
Yep.
No cell phones while you're pumping gas in case it has a static electricity.
Wow. Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Right
that's
there.
right. You're not supposed to re-enter your vehicle, because that can build up static electricity.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And your car should be shut down, even not even the radio playing.
Right.
And he's pushing a dumpster in front of a flammable gas station. And you know, but the liberals are not calling them out at all. They're not calling them out at all, man. They're focusing on Kyle Rittenhouse. They're not saying how they tried to maul the kid. If that had been me, I said, wow, I mean, I don't know why they was chasing him down like that. He shot one guy because he was trying to protect his life from him.
Yeah. Plain as
and
day.
Then he run, and then another kid came and hit him in the back of the head, and that's when he fell. And I would have done the exact same thing what Kyle Rittenhouse did. The only difference, it just would have been a black guy.
Yeah.
I would have done the exact same thing he done. Exact same thing.
Right. Anyway, man.
Because
great points.
Go ahead, James.
Great points, man.
Yeah, man. So it's like it's really easy. The liberals are making it hard because they're trying to spend their agenda.
Right.
And most liberals, when you talk to them, James, they haven't even seen the tape how they tried to maul Kyle. They just go off what CNN and the drive-by media tell them, and that's all they know.
You know, in the debate, the Hippy Dippy Roundtable, this guy kept on saying, Vosh kept on saying, oh, 3 people chased him. Somebody counted like 9 people chasing him. 9. And when you see the video footage, they're like, get him. There was the black guy, I think he was a black guy, who tried to jump kick Kyle. Kyle shot up in the air and missed him. And he got lucky, and he ran away. Another guy had chased, and then he put his hands up after Kyle dealt with the 2 attackers, the last 2 attackers. And there were others who, they just scattered after he defended himself successfully. But there was more than just 3 people chasing him. It was a lynch mob.
Yeah. Oh, you got to look at the video.
Their excuse is they thought he was an active shooter. They thought he murdered somebody. You don't listen to the crowd and just attack somebody just based on what somebody says. You respond based on what you see for yourself. But these people were acting as vigilantes, and they accuse him of being a vigilante. Ridiculous.
You know when an active shooter, man. When it's an active shooter, you gonna know. Police everywhere. It's gonna look like Christmas outside. Everybody's geared up to go after the active shooter, and how they didn't say it was active shooter until he shot one of them because he was trying to attack him.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And y'all, he's an active shooter now because he had to shoot one of y'all to keep y'all from killing him.
Yep.
Because he had been dead, in my opinion. I mean, if you look at the video, he had a mob of people. They were chasing him like he had some money.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's evil, man.
Yes, sir.
And just I think it was within weeks of this happening, maybe even the following week, that the religious man, the Patriot Prayer guy from the MAGA caravan in Portland, Oregon, was assassinated by a BLM Antifa supporting male feminist guy in his 50s who had a daughter. He was a snowboarder guy over in Portland, Oregon, and just killed him. We got one right here. We got one right here, meaning a Trump supporter, and he shoots him in the chest. Ridiculous.
Wow.
Just
evil.
evil.
You know what? And the media ignores that and don't see it. How you not? Oh man, that's just a double standard.
Yep.
You see it and they act like they don't see it.
Yeah.
They haven't showed the video at all. Most liberals ain't even seen the video.
Nope.
They just going by what CNN and his other. I don't even listen to mainstream. I just listen to them and see where they're coming from. Then I get all my facts.
Yeah.
Because they just here to push an agenda.
Yep. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you, man. Good
Hey,
to hear
love
from
you guys, man. Keep up the good work, James, man, because you're getting there. Everybody's starting to hear you, man, because it's hard to get on your show, man.
Nice. Take care.
Yes, sir. Love y'all. Be good.
All right. Let me get to Lord Grimm in Washington, D.C. He wants to comment on that little girl, the 8-year-old. Lord Grimm, thank you for holding. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, happy Monday to you, man.
Thank you. You're coming in really rough, though. Are you on?
What about now?
That's sounding a little better. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Everything's good, man. So I just want to talk about that. Like, I kind of like Donnie ARMOUR. I don't really got nothing against him per se. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, he says some crazy things. I mean, everybody tends to say some crazy things if it's truthful, especially if it's truthful. It sounds really crazy. But he says some, even crazier things than that, though. But I do kind of agree with him on we shouldn't be putting so much power into these kids' hands. However, if you're raising your child the right way, you know what I'm saying, and you are teaching your child the right things, and you know they, you might, you know, you gotta understand, kids in general have a bigger voice. It seems like I think I told you about this before, but kids seem to have like a bigger voice, you know what I mean, than like adults do. You know, adults tend to listen to kids a little more than they listen to, you know, fellow adults. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it might hit a little...
kids are closer to the truth. Like they instinctively
exactly.
know some of the truth. That girl was coached a bit, like because she didn't want to say this person Burke sucks or whatever. Sorry,
exactly. So I don't have nothing against her. I don't have nothing against her saying what she said, because at least you know, everything she said was very, very, very true. At least, you know, she's talking and she's speaking for truth. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing when you're trying to indoctrinate kids to fight for Satan, pretty much, but it's another thing when you're instilling the right kind of sense in them.
Yeah.
And you're getting them to talk for truth. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do kind of sort of agree with him that we shouldn't be putting too much power into the kids' hands, because you know, adults gotta pick themselves up, man, and do what's right. They shouldn't be putting all the, you know, a lot of strain or pressure on kids, because it's really not their place.
Right.
It's really not their place. So I do agree with him on that particular part. But when he said that she's just like Greta, no, Greta was fighting for evil.
Right.
And,
True.
And she was being indoctrinated to fight for evil. And we have a child that's not been indoctrinated, and she has sense, and she's talking with sense. So right. I have nothing against that. But I do wish it was her father, who was on that podium. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it's the man's job, and adults should be doing the heavy lifting, not getting the kids to do the heavy lifting. That's not the way it should be going, man. So what do you think about that?
He brought up a fair point. Her speech didn't seem as cringy and cringe-inducing as others. I noticed that she was reading, but you know, how else are you going to do it if you're reading a speech, and especially if you want to keep it on point, unless you are really sharp and led by the Spirit. But
but
I was okay with it. It seemed okay.
Exactly, because you know why? Because she was speaking with sense, you know, and like we need more kids to be on that level, because right now the devil is fighting to take as many kids as possible, and more than ever before. It's like a war against kids. Like it's a war on kids right now. You know, just trying to get them to circulate into this so-called New World Order agenda. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get them into the learning all of this CTR stuff, right, and all this. You know, it's just they just really getting at the kids really hard. So it's really refreshing to hear a child that actually has some sense. So I don't have nothing against her per se.
Yeah,
saying what she said, but I do wish I would have rather it been maybe the father. But I I'm happy that she said it, because like, you know, it's just like when Nicki Minaj said what she said. We don't expect for like celebrities and stuff like that to come out and say what they say on the behalf of truth. You know what I'm saying? So when they do it, it's very refreshing. You know, and we see a lot of kids being attacked these days. So we don't expect them to really stand up for truth since it's such an attack on them. So to hear one speak up on the right side was very refreshing. So I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I don't mind it.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, man. So that's pretty much it, man. You know, I also want to talk about this real quick.
Uh-huh.
I believe in homeschooling. I think some people try to make an argument about, okay, what if both parents are working or whatever the case may be. Listen, where there's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? It's really, you know, I can't speak for everybody's situation, but one thing I know is that where there's a will, there's a way. And if you really want your child, you know what I'm saying, to be raised the right way, you're going to do what you got to do. You're going to, you know what I'm saying, you're going to part the seed like Jesus, and make sure that they get, you know what I'm saying, the right kind of education and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if I was in a situation where me and my woman was both working and stuff, man, I'll try to make some type of arrangements, man, in a way where I could try to get my child homeschooled, man, because it's really sad, man, what they're trying to do to these kids, man. I really believe we should leave these kids alone. I really strongly believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're pure, like you said. They tend to know truth way more than the adults do because they're just coming into the world. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been tarnished and all that kind of stuff yet to the level that the adults are. So they tend to lean, more so on the common sense side. And then it's one society. It's only one society and, adults and stuff tend to try to, like, tarnish that stuff. But they actually come out the womb very, very pure, you know what I mean? And,
right.
It's just crazy, man. Leave the kids alone. If anything, instill some sense in the kids, just like that young lady had when she was talking. If anything, just make sure they have some sense, but don't attack these kids, you know what I mean? And just let them be kids. Really, let the kids be kids, man.
Expect evil not to go with that. Expect evil to attack them.
But if you think about it, everything is like contrary to what it's supposed to be. And every time I think about that, it just further reminds me that the Antichrist is out here, man. He's really out. Satan is out here. Yeah. Because you got kids being treated like adults. You got adults acting like kids. You got women wanting to be men. Yeah. You got men wanting to be women. And human beings wanting to be animals and all kind of crazy mess, man. I mean, it's just weird, man. It's just real weird.
It is. It's a crazy world. I appreciate it, man.
But I appreciate you, Hake, man. You're doing your thing. Chris, always, you know what I'm saying, stay up, Chris. You always on point when you know what I'm saying, play those JLP recordings, man.
Nice.
That stuff be having me cracking up. He plays it at the right moment. Like, he really plays it at the right moment.
That's cool.
But yeah, take care, y'all. I'll see y'all in the chat, man.
All right, Lord Grimm. Thank you, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.
All right. I have to show you guys this little clip. This just a little throwback. I played this. It feels like I played this really recently, but I played it in June. Did you see this clip? Little Addison. I've showed this. It's on my YouTube channel. It's from 2019. It's just a classic clip. Speaking of kids speaking up. 13-year-old girl from 2019, Addison Woosley, Woosley, compares abortion to slavery at a city council meeting in Raleigh, North Carolina. 2.5 minutes here. Enjoy this clip. I always enjoy it. It's a classic. Apparently, I like to play it every few months. Here's Addison at a Raleigh, North Carolina city council meeting. Enjoy this.
When mothers choose to slaughter their innocent babies, they already have fingerprints, noses. They can recognize their mom's voice. They can hiccup, and their heart is beating. On ultrasounds, the baby tries to move away from the disturbing instruments they used to kill the baby. The baby's mouth opens wide in a scream when being killed. These babies are alive. They feel being killed. It hurts them, and there's nothing they can do about it. There's no way around it. Abortion is murder. So why is it? If an infant is destroyed before birth, there's no problem. But if killed after birth, it's considered a brutal murder. These babies aren't its or fetuses. They are human beings, and they deserve to get the same human rights as any other person. Some people say that abortion should be the mom's choice. It's her body. But what about the baby's choice? The baby's body is in the mom's body. Abortion reminds me of slavery. Owners said that their slaves were their property and they could do whatever they wanted with them. Just how moms say about their babies. Are you choosing to be like the plantation worker flogging the little black child? Or are you going to protest even if it costs your life like Martin Luther King Jr.? Who are you going to be? If you think abortion should be illegal, would you please stand up? We need to change the law to change the... Order. If you think abortion should be illegal, would you please stand up? We need to change the law to change the world, so let's stand up and do it. Thank you.
Order. Nice.
Order.
Right on. Shut up.
Everyone,
Psycho
y'all,
black
please,
man,
please. Sir, please, sit down.
Black man. Look at his authority.
I asked. Y'all, please, please. Y'all, please.
Y'all, please.
Order. Y'all, I need order. Y'all, excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. Please, everyone. I asked.
She's yelling at him for not standing up against the little girl.
So everyone, please. I need order in here. So, yes, I am a black man. And yes, everyone who signs up has a right to speak. That is the rules of the land.
It's America. Nice. Little kid had the people going crazy. What a mess. What a classic. Shout out to little Addison Woosley. Sweet little girl. Malkuth was not convinced because whites don't really have a problem with slavery. At least this white doesn't. Especially compared to abortion. Give me a break. But that was just common sense. Malkuth is also not convinced because she has not had a baby herself. Oh, man. Anyway, some super chats, guys. Let me read these super chats. By the way, Brandon M. says, Riley, also known as ContraPoints. I don't think Riley Grace Rochong, I think you're confusing Riley Grace Rochong, what I thought was a girl at the bottom, middle, with Counterpoints, who was the cussing Irishman up at the top. He was a veteran and former police. Counterpoints is the guy at the top. He was libertarian, conservative guy. And then, I like him, but he's cussing a lot. And then Riley Grace Rochong was the, not Counterpoints. Unstable individual who loves gotcha questions. You can watch this person's journey on this person's YouTube. I'm trying to avoid using the proper pronouns that Brandon is using with estrogen boosters. If this person hasn't, ContraPoints is a different transgender. Not to be confused with Counterpoints, I guess. Okay. So many different names. 3 different people. What a mess. All right, Brandon M. So ContraPoints and Riley Grace Rochong and Counterpoints are 3 different people. And Counterpoints is a normal guy. Relatively speaking. Irish. If he hasn't deleted his videos. I'm kind of disturbed Hake couldn't tell ContraPoints or Riley Grace Rochong was a male just by his voice, says Brandon M. You know, yeah, libertarian. Yeah, what a mess. One line open, guys. I couldn't tell. I could not tell. You know, what a shame that could be a woman and people are thinking that's a transgender because of the the mess. It is a disturbing world. Brandon M., I just wasn't thinking about it, I guess. Thank you, though. Peter from Periscope says, I'm digging the guests and seeing you out and about on other shows. Keep up the good work, Hake. La, la, la. Thank you, Peter from Periscope. And Hydro says, Hake, what does it feel like speaking with low IQ whites like donning armor? Aw, man. And then, let's see. Malkuth X says, little girl sounds dumb. America first. She never had a baby before. Weak argument, little girl. Whites don't have a problem with slavery, LOL. Will you be like the slave owner flogging the little black child? And the blacks go crazy. So funny. So funny. I didn't even care that she was reading or if her mother helped her write that argument. And she just got louder and louder as the people started screaming, the demon-possessed black women. Inappropriate, inappropriate. Give me a break. Give me a break. But not of Kit Kat, because Kit Kat bars are disgusting. I don't care taking care of business bear. Great minds think alike. I don't care if her parents wrote that speech for her. Good kid. Brave souls, says Copycat Ninja. Shout out. Nice to see you guys over there on the Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@the Hake Report. Yeah, I have that video on the Hake Report YouTube channel. Probably on elsewhere too, Rumble and BitChute. I rarely upload on those channels, but I do upload little highlights there. Public meeting confrontations, bail reform, quote unquote, abortion, and free speech. Nice. Let me quickly get to Joe in Oregon. He wants to talk about the mask thing, the mandates. What's up, Joe? Thank you for holding.
Hey, James. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to
Whoa.
say...
No man is good.
That I... Say what?
No man is good. When you say you're
man is
good,
good.
you're saying you're morally good. No man is good.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Anyway.
In any case, I agree with you, or I think I agree with you if I understood what you said, that businesses
Is he coming in
have
loud
the
enough?
right...
Go ahead.
Okay. Businesses have the right to set whatever rules they want in order to enter their business, whether they want to tell people they have to wear a mask or not.
Yeah.
And people also have the right to protest. That's called America. It's a free country, and that's why America is great, because businesses have the right to set these rules and people have the right to protest. It's just the same thing as, like, do you remember the gay wedding cake thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Many
support
such
that.
cases.
Many. I support those businesses saying they refuse to bake a wedding cake for gay couples. I totally support that.
Right.
And if somebody wants to protest it, I support that too. You know, that's America. It's freedom. That's why I love this country.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just wanted to say I totally agree with you on that. And I find it ironic that some of the same people that are so upset and against businesses requiring masks also supported the bakeries that refuse to make gay wedding cakes.
You know,
it's pretty ironic.
It is a little bit. I see what you're saying. A lot of these businesses, they're communists though. They're communists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
They do go, in my opinion, they're going overboard. That's their right. But there's a whole lot of governments trying to force this on people. And then there are these huge companies that are trying to force it on people too.
Right.
So these huge companies are in bed with the government. And I don't think that if you're in bed with the government, you can't be doing that mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I may or may not agree with their policy, but my point is I agree with their right to set the policy.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So
if they're small businesses, if they're these huge businesses that are, again, just getting cuts from the government and all this mess, because we have, as my communist guest from, or not my guest, but my debate opponent in the modern day debate guy, he was talking about how there's socialism for the rich or whatever.
Yeah.
All these companies are just, they're like in some ways more powerful than the government. So I don't know if I'm for them discriminating against normal freedom-minded Americans and violating our speech rights, because they don't have the spirit of the freedom of speech, nor do they have common sense with the little rules that they're trying to enforce on people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
If we had true freedom, then these businesses that are forcing these things would fail. But no, they're getting favor. They're getting special treatment from local governments. Because I think that most businesses, if they were run by sane people, they're not going to force this stuff on people.
Yeah.
So.
But, you know, people can also choose not to shop there, but unfortunately, most businesses, well, at least where I live.
Yeah, you're up in Oregon, Liberalville.
Yeah, I'm in. Yep, I'm in oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I'm in Portland. I'm in Portland.
That's
Oregon,
funny. Sorry, kids.
Which is, sorry, kids and women. I apologize.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm in Portland, Oregon, which is Liberalville. Unfortunately, it's horrible here.
Yeah.
but most places here pretty much every place here requires a mask. But I've been to other states recently where they didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't
Have you ever
require it.
tried not putting it on?
No, because I believe in following rules. I wonder if
Typical white failure. You're white, right?
Failure. What? Yeah.
Because you're supposed to press the envelope with these people because you're supposed to assert your rights. Anyway, I don't know your situation, but with some of these, these grocery stores,
I want to respect their rules.
But you can respect them after they ask you. Go in free because you respect people's personal space. So in reality, most of the time when you're walking around a store or whatever, you're not anywhere near risking spreading this thing. I can see if you're going on a subway and you wear a mask because on a subway it's whatever. Or I don't know if there's subways, but there's trains in Oregon, Portland area.
Yeah.
Or a bus.
There's trains here, yeah.
Yeah.
And buses.
Yep.
At my gym, they require a mask.
Really?
Yeah, I when I'm walking around at my gym, I have my mask on, but when I'm actually lifting or running on the treadmill, I pull it down.
Nice.
Because there's no way I can.
Rebel.
Yeah, there's no way. And they've asked me a couple times very nicely to put my mask back up when they catch me.
Uh-huh.
And I do because,
right.
I don't want to, it's not really a huge issue for me.
Right.
So, yeah, it's okay. But, I pull it down whenever I can.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Joe. Interesting input.
Sure. Yeah. Another topic, but ever so slightly related. Here in Portland, Oregon, there's a store. I just want to tell this story. There's a grocery store. It's a natural food store here. Can I say the name of it?
Depends. If
I'm going to say something negative about it.
Negative about it? Avoid saying it just for now.
Say it for now?
No, avoid saying it for now.
Oh, okay. I won't say it. But anyway, Antifa had smashed their windows in, and they were all boarded up, and I was shopping there like the day after. And I said to the cashier, I'm like, "Oh, did Antifa smash your windows up?" And he said, "Well, I support terrorist groups."
He said that? He actually said that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He said that. He said, "I support terrorist groups," and he said something to the effect of, "We need more of that."
Wow.
And I
kind of unsurprising, honestly, coming out of Portland.
Yeah, exactly. And so I didn't finish paying for my groceries, and I went up to the manager and told him. And a month later, I went back in. The guy was still there. So I called, and I demanded that this guy be fired.
Really?
And they said they refused to fire him because he said he didn't say it.
Why did you want him fired?
Because a cashier should not be telling customers, "I support terrorism."
Why not?
It's completely inappropriate and unprofessional.
It is. I mean, you brought up an issue, and he didn't really address the issue. I don't think that you should necessarily try to get him fired just because he's a communist.
It's not because he's a communist. It's because that sort of thing, his beliefs that are that extreme, that he supports terrorists, that should be left out of the workplace. And if I was a business owner, if it was my business, I would immediately fire that person. He should not be saying that to customers.
I agree you shouldn't be pushing politics, but you kind of brought the topic up. You broached the topic, so you kind of granted you didn't ask his political position. You asked if it was Antifa who did it.
Yeah.
These guys, I want us to be as shameless with telling the truth brazenly as they are, with pushing lies and destruction. I don't want these people. I don't think that it's you. I don't know if you were right for pushing for this guy to be fired.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, and I totally support people's right to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
However, in this circumstance,
And now you know where the store stands. Like,
yeah,
or at
I don't
least
shop
if
there
they
anymore.
don't believe that he said it, then
yeah, he's lying. He definitely said it. He
I know.
said
But if
those
they
exact
don't
words.
believe he said it, then what can they do? Or if they can't prove that he said it, they can't just fire him because they can get sued.
People can fire people for any reason.
Yeah, they're in
they
Portland. They'll face a lynch mob of Antifa people doing even worse to them. I mean, granted.
That's a good point.
And granted, catering to the mob and appeasing the mob is only going to bring even worse destruction. But you know, I don't know if you're. I think that you were a little off, in my personal opinion.
Well, I understand where you're coming from. I just think that what he said was completely unprofessional and inappropriate.
Probably, I think so.
A cashier to be saying to a customer.
It'd be
and extreme.
Yeah, it is. No, but that's Portland for
if
you.
he supports terrorism, I mean that's it doesn't get much more extreme.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, can I say where the store is located? Just so.
No, I mean,
you don't. Okay,
if
cool.
people want to contact me, you can email me the info. I'd rather not get into that.
Okay, no, I totally understand. I get it.
Because this is your word, and I have no reason to doubt you, but it's just I don't want to get into. That.
No, I understand, dude. So I get it.
Yeah, we are fighting evil, that's for sure. But there's a
lot of evil.
There's a right way. I'm a little surprised at you because you're supporting the right to mask mandate, but then you're not supporting the right to keep on a terrorist communist, terrorist supporting communist.
Well, no, I mean, I was protesting essentially by calling them and asking them, will you fire this guy for his unprofessional behavior? I don't think that.
But was he rude? Was he rude to you, or was he just matter of fact?
He was very matter of fact.
And I kind of appreciate that type of openness. Let's be.
But I mean, what if a cashier said something like, "I hate all N-words"?
That would be kind of refreshing, honestly.
Dude, you're okay.
Because wouldn't it be refreshing to somebody finally just saying what they think?
Well, but there's professional behavior
that's out the window.
In a place of employment. Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's a little off.
If you owned a store, would you want your employees saying that to customers? How would you handle that?
I wouldn't want them saying that, because what if it's a conservative and then this conservative is going to start boycotting? And conservatives, there's a few in Portland too, and you want their business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I appreciate it. Very interesting story for sure.
Yeah.
Take care,
all right,
Joe.
brother, you take it easy. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Man. So much to get to. Okay, let me tell you guys quickly about Mitch Landrieu before I get back to calls. Mitch Landrieu is being put in charge of Sleazy Joe's communist infrastructure bill, and I gave you a hint about it in Hake News. The communist infrastructure, $1 trillion, whatever it is, pretending like they're going to save the infrastructure, which is roads, train things, railway, bridges, all this stuff that they've neglected in favor of giving people stuff not to work, right? Giving people money not to work. Well, this Mitch Landrieu, I have some photographs of him and some pictures of him, and pictures are photographs of him, and some screenshots of articles that he's written. He's can I say scumbag? I've been saying it. But he's like a scumbag. He was the New Orleans mayor a so-called white New Orleans mayor, but he's a Democrat. This guy called for the removal of 4 monuments, 3 honoring Confederate leaders and 1 honoring a short-lived violent coup in the state government by the Crescent City White League. New Orleans City Council approved their removal of the statue the same year. And so he removed like General Robert E. Lee. This little punk, I'm calling him a punk. His dad was a sleazy politician, by the way, this Mitch Landrieu guy. Yeah, can you grab pictures of this guy? Mitch Landrieu, evil sleaze. In 2018, the JFK Liberty Foundation, look at him, this bald guy. JFK Library Foundation awarded Landrieu its prestigious Profile and Courage Award. His leadership in removing 4 Confederate monuments in New Orleans, highlighting in the award. So he got awards for being evil. He is the author of New York Times bestseller, In the Shadow of Statues. A white Southerner confronts history. He's not confronting history, he's hiding it. Our beautiful South, this sleazy guy. Shout out to the beautiful South. In a 2016 political survey of mayors across America, his peers praised him as a leader who engineered the biggest turnaround. Mitch Landrieu is enjoying is widely hailed as one of the most successful mayorships in America, leading efforts on public health, infrastructure, personal crusade against gun violence. Because New Orleans, look at that. They're removing the beautiful statue of one of our great American generals and Confederate generals, Robert E. Lee, a Christian man, and an American hero, by the way. In January, he wrote this article, Only Accountability Will Allow the U.S. to Move Forward. So he wants a lynch mob against the fake insurrectionists from the January 6th thing. And he called them white supremacists. In April of this year, he wrote an article in CNN, America desperately needs a, listen to this communist buzz line, Truth and Racial Healing Commission. This guy, look at his articles, pretending it's whites and not blacks who are misguided on the race thing. Only reason whites are misguided is that they don't just speak up and speak plainly with their real freedom of speech. And he seems like he comes from a power-hungry political family because his dad was named Moon Landrieu. What a sicko, huh? A sick person. So this guy is in charge of implementing the infrastructure thing. So he's going to be biased against whites and sensible people and Christians. He's a sleazy Democrat. He's on the he supports the witch hunt. Look at him, this goofy guy. Witch hunt against real American patriots who protested the January 6th thing, right? What a mess. So that's Mitch Landrieu. I kind of had to rush through that because I want to get to some quick calls in the last 5 minutes here. Lynn in Chicago, long time no hear. Lynn, how are you doing?
How you doing there, Hank?
Doing well. Thank you.
Yeah. The thing is, I just wanted to bring up a lot of this stuff that's being mentioned throughout the show goes back to Romans 1:28. Did you want to reiterate us?
Go for it. If you have it handy, go for it.
Okay. Furthermore, just as they did not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, so God gave them a depraved mind, so they do what ought not to be done.
Yeah. That's a great line. The King James Version reads, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do things which are not convenient.
I mean that's
true?
Communism, demonic people. I mean, these people are just demons. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And it goes on to say, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness. Covetousness, that's communism.
Yeah.
Maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit. Debate, wow. Shout out to LYNN Chin. He calls out the debaters. Malignity, whisperers, wow. Backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proudful, boasters, inventors of evil things. Wow. Inventors of evil things. Can you say LGBTIQ madness? disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. And that's what they're pushing on kids. They're pushing this degeneracy on kids. Interesting, man. Great. Romans 1:28 through 32.
Yeah. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say was my son's school. There's a gay kid there. He's going to be trans, but he still wants to be called a boy. I mean, this is craziness. But this kid is about to get his own bathroom, and I guarantee you, they're probably going to spend $100,000 on making this bathroom for this kid.
Wow, what a mess!
I mean, it's just
I didn't know
ridiculous.
you had a son. That's cool, man.
Yeah, I have two sons.
Nice. Alpha.
Yeah, one's in high school, and the other one's in like 8th grade.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
White babies? White young men? Mixed?
Well, the thing is, I told you I'm mixed race, and my wife, she's Mexican.
Okay, close enough. White on the inside, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, Hank, you have a nice day, and I'll let you go so you can answer more calls.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Lynn. Very nice to hear from you. Long time. Take care. Quickly, last call of the day, although I wanted to get to Robert in Kansas too. Andrew, a first-time caller in Virginia. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Fine. You got 1 minute. Go.
Yeah, so my question is, for the next presidential election, why are we looking, for a different outcome from, a Republican winning office when, Dominion voting systems is in place there? That's kind of what I've been, thinking about.
Yeah. Well, man, maybe we'll find ways to be wiser and fight smarter and harder. Just because you don't see the possibilities, you also don't see the future. We never give up. And maybe there are ways that different people, there are state legislatures around the country trying to feebly, I will admit, seemingly, feebly attempting to reinstitute voter integrity measures, election integrity measures. So we don't give up. We keep on pushing. Does that make sense? Does that work for you?
It does. Yeah.
I appreciate. Interesting question, man. It's a fair question. I don't know what Dominion did or did not do, or what they do. Seem to be a bunch of liberals. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
And they had a guy who supported Antifa, that Coomer guy, right?
Right.
Was he Dominion? Anyway, I appreciate it, Andrew. It's good to hear from you. And
thank you.
Yeah, never give up. Take care.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. The rest of the callers, Robert in Kansas, wanted to say businesses cannot make you wear masks. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a religious discrimination, which I'm all for the right to discriminate, but it's a fair point. Guys, I cannot get to you. This is the end of the Hake Report. It is 11 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time, thehakereport.com. Thank you, and take care.